Aave, Compound. Do you guys remember when those guys came out and what they did to Ethereum? You know, the thing called DeFi summer? Like the crazy thing that was like, whoa, this is crazy. Well, that is what Moonwell is looking to do on Moonriver and Moonbeam. Yes, two separate chains, but yet they're both connected. These are on Kusama and Polkadot. These are two sister chains. In today's KuCoin DigiDive, we're going to be talking about Moonwell and the Well token listing coming up on KuCoin. If you want to go ahead and get started trading with this coin, links in the description below. You guys will get 20% off trading fees, baby. All right, let's go and get into this. To understand what Moonwell is, you need to understand who Polkadot and Kusama are. Polkadot is basically the main chain. This is like your Cosmos, this is like your Ethereum, this is your Avalanche. This is how you can look at Polkadot. Kusama is the same thing as Polkadot, but it's the test chain. The test chain is basically testing these different apps, making sure they work, and if they're functional, they can upgrade to the Big Daddy's chain, which is Polkadot. They both have their own chains and dApps and their own infrastructure and their own economic utility. And Moonwell happens to be built on both. It'll be coming to Moonbeam soon. Moonbeam is over on Polkadot. It's the EVM chain. Right now, it's currently launched on Moonriver. Moonriver is the EVM chain for Kusama. So if we look here, you can see here Apollo is live on Moonriver right now. Moonriver is a live, active, and functioning EVM of the Kusama ecosystem. And then you have Artemis, Moonbeam, and the Well token, which is going to be coming soon. And we're going to be discussing the Well token in this video. But we want to go ahead and show you guys the layout of what the Apollo looks like, because this is going to be the same thing on Artemis. Artemis, again, is the dApp that's built on Moonbeam, Polkadot's EVM chain. As you can see here, you got some pretty juicy yields. You can get about 5% on some stablecoins, about 3% on some ETH, about 27% on some Moonriver token. I'll explain some more details later in this video and show you guys how to use this in order to get a pretty high yield on some of these tokens. Everyone loves to yield farm, man. And I'll show you guys the pros and cons on how to use this. Also, if you notice on their advisor list, they have 0x Maki. This guy was over at Sushi. So this guy is well known in the DeFi space, and he was around with DeFi Summer. They have some pretty big name investors as well. They have Signum Capital, they have Woodstock, Keychain Capital, Arlington Capital, Coinbase Ventures, lots of big names in here. And they even have a couple of different partnerships as well as some audits done. Halborn was one of the main ones. All right, so let's go and get into the saucy stuff. This is the borrowing and lending part of the platform. This is mainly what it's looking to do. You can kind of look at it like Aave, but the reason this has good utility is, let's say for example, you have some Bitcoin and Ethereum and a new farm pops up, or you want to go buy a car, but you don't want to sell your Bitcoin and ETH. What you can do is you can lend out your Bitcoin, Ethereum, your Moonriver, Kusama, whatever you want on this platform, and you can borrow some stable coins against this, and you can use this in the real world if you're trying to buy that car, or in DeFi if you're trying to play in the next DeFi game. Now, you can also use these type of platforms to have different strategies in DeFi. One in particular is shorting. I'll explain the shorting part later in this video, but let's show you guys how you can lend out some Bitcoin and borrow some stables against it. So how this would work is I would come over onto the platform and select, hey, I want to deposit some Moonriver tokens. Right now, I would be getting paid a total of 27% to lend out these tokens. 21% is going to be the total supply, which is going to be the Moonriver token. The additional 6% is going to be boosted Moonriver tokens for their liquidity mining campaign. So when I lend out my tokens, I have max 0.01. I can go ahead and borrow whatever I want against this. If I wanted to loop this for a strategy, I could loop this if I wanted to, and I would get paid to loop. Because as you can see here, the borrow APY is 12%, and the supply APY is 27%. So if one Moonriver token is worth $100 at the collateral ratio that they have, which is 60%, that means I would be able to borrow $60 worth of any asset I want. Preferably, I would do the Moonriver token because if my lending is the same as my borrowing, there's less of a chance to get liquidated. The only way it would get liquidated is if I lever to the max because of the interest rate that I'm paying. But if I'm lending out and I'm getting 27% to lend, and when I borrow, I only have to pay 12%, I can basically take that money I borrow and slap it on the lending side, and I can earn additional monies. Because if I'm paying 12% and I'm earning 27%, I'm technically earning a free 15% just for nothing, like free money. So normally I would only earn 27. Now at this rate with the compounding, I can earn about 40% on my money. So you can boost your yields that way with looping. Now you can do this with other tokens as well. Like for example with Frax, this is a stable coin. You can loop Frax as well. This one's paying 6%, and when you borrow it, you'll only have to pay less than 1%. So you're basically getting free money again. Why not? So that is one strategy you guys can use with looping. And also when you go to claim your rewards, you get some in the MFAM token, the Mover token, and of course the token that you lend out. You can swap your MFAM tokens on Moonbeam. As you can see here, there is liquidity for the MFAM token, and you can swap this out for any asset you want. The MFAM token is on Moonriver. Remember, Moonbeam, when it comes out, the EVM for Polkadot is going to have the Well token. The Well token is what's going to be listed on KuCoin. So you will be able to farm the Well token on the Moonwell platform when Artemis goes live. So that's just one strategy you guys can use with this type of borrowing and lending platform. The second is if you notice and you're like, man, Bitcoin is at a really, really high price. I think I want to short it. What you can do is you can lend out some stable coins. Let's say, for example, Bitcoin is trading at 20 grand and you think it's going to go to 10K. Well, you lend out about 30 grand worth of stable coins because in order to do that, you would have to have a certain collateral ratio. I'll show you that later in this video so you guys can see what's up. But I would lend out 30K. I would then borrow 1 Bitcoin. I would have a healthy collateral ratio. And then what I would do is I'd sell that Bitcoin and I would get the 20K. Once I get that 20K, I throw it into the platform and now there's 50K sitting on there. Why is it 50K? Well, because I lent out 30K. I borrowed 1 Bitcoin. I sold it for 20K. And 30K plus 20K, because I threw it back in, I now have 50K on this side. But my debt is 1 Bitcoin. So I always have to buy that Bitcoin back at some point in time. I theoretically just shorted it on the market. Now, as predicted, Bitcoin goes to 10K. Now what I do is I withdraw 10K as collateral over here. I buy back that Bitcoin, repay my loan, and I just profited 10K. Because after I repay my loan, at the end of the day, I now have 40K. Of course, you got to subtract a little bit because interest rates, but in theory, that's how you would short the market using a platform like this. So there's different utility and different use cases with this type of platform. What I really like is how you can have gas-free swaps. Let's say, for example, you get over here on Moonbeam and you're like, I don't have any money for gas fees. This really stinks. We can actually swap any USDC, some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, whatever tokens that you want, and you can swap this into the Mover token, which is the Moonriver gas token. It's like ETH is to the Ethereum network. I can swap this for a gasless swap. What would happen is it would just do a signature for gas, boom, snap, done. Nothing else. Super easy. So that's a pretty cool, unique onboarding platform that I really like about Moonriver and Moonbeam. So now before I get into the tokenomics, like I told you guys, I wanted to read to you these different metrics. As you can see here, the borrow cap is unlimited. That means I'm allowed to borrow as much as I want. The price is at $1. That's the coded in price of that certain stablecoin or that certain token. Others will have different prices. So for example, Ethereum, this one's taken its current price from an oracle. So that's how you can factor that in. Then you have the collateral factor. For example, this one says 60%. So what this means is if I lend $100 worth of ETH, the maximum amount I can borrow is $600. I would not want to do that because if I do that and Ethereum goes down in price, that means my collateral goes down. So I get liquidated and I lose a portion of my collateral. That is not something you want to do. That's called getting liquidated. That's esta no bueno. That's not good. So that's something to keep in mind. And then of course you have the supply APY, distribution APY. These are just the bare bones minimum of what the ETH is paying out. And then you have the borrow rates. So this is what you're going to be paying to borrow it. Of course, these are incentivized with other tokens. Like I told you, Moonriver is running a liquidity mining campaign. So they're basically paying you to borrow. This is why the looping strategy can be profitable. Let's go ahead and talk about the tokenomics. MFAM is the same thing as the WELL token will be, tokenomic wise at least. So you can basically replace MFAM with WELL. So WELL is going to be your governance token of the Moonwell Artemis protocol. Remember, it's Artemis because this is the one that's on Moonbeam. This can be staked on Moonwell's safety module to earn staking rewards. It is used as governance, like I said, and as a backstop. So when you're staking, you're getting those staking rewards. Keep in mind that there is a chance that if there is bad debt in the system, or if there is a liquidation event that isn't properly liquidated, then your tokens are used to backstop that. So keep in mind the risks that you're taking on when you're staking this. Here's a little overview of the WELL tokenomics. They had the launchpad sale between March 30th to April 9th. It was listed for about 2.6 cents. The fundraising was 31% of the token distribution. The ecosystem got about 30%. The team got about 20%. And the treasury about 19.5%. Overall, what are my closing thoughts? Well, I really like the platform and the unique opportunities that it builds for the Moonriver and Polkadot ecosystem. It allows more optionality and it adds DeFi Lego blocks to the ecosystem. However, for the WELL token, time will tell to see if the demand for purchasing the token in order to stake it will outpace the people who are farming the coin and selling it. Now, if the people are farming it and holding it, that's a different story, but there is a high dilution rate going as this token is being emitted. So just something to keep in mind. Let's go and hit you guys with a wisdom one-liner. We're in Proverbs chapter 13, verses 7. One person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. I wonder who's actually wealthy. Well, kind of just said it in the verse. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this KuCoin DigiDive. If you guys did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think of WELL and the Moonwell platform. And we'll see you guys in the next one.